What's up, YouTube? What's up, YouTube? It's your boy back with another one. People, in today's video, we want to talk about South Africa and the way it is being run and the tribalism that goes on in South Africa and the solutions that could make South Africa a better place. Let me know what you think about this topic in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know we're family, right? Holla, holla. People, people. Tribalism is a big thing, right? Now we all know that tribalism, wherever you go on the African continent, plays a role in daily life, in politics, in social gatherings. It's, you know, natural, right? People in Africa are proud of their tribes, and customs and traditions, right? And everybody wants their tribe to be on top. And it's a beautiful thing. I mean, unlike other countries that identify by race, in Africa, we prefer to identify by tribe, by tribes, you know. Instead of saying I'm black, I'm white. It's more like I'm Zulu, I'm Xhosa, I'm Tswana, I'm Shangani, I'm Swahili. I'm Nama, I'm Yoruba, I'm Igbo, you know, I'm Maasai. That's how we identify, from our tribes. We have tribes. We're not just a color, like other countries that identify the color. So, why am I bringing up this topic? People, South Africa is made up of so many different tribes, right? And three tribes seem to be the most dominant tribes in South Africa. If you look at it from a political spectrum, right? So we get the Zulus, we get the Xhosas, and we get the Tswana. These are among the top tier tribes, right? And then at the bottom, which they call the bottom, right? Which would now be your Shangan, your um, Venda, your Tsonga, your um, yeah, those are like the three bottom ones that I can think of that are clustered at the bottom. Some even think these people are foreigners, Shangani or Tsonga or Ndebele or. And it's unfortunate that South Africa has to go down that tribalistic route, you know what I mean? It's bad, and it's a sad thing. We don't want to see such things happening, you know what I mean? And I'm just so glad that in other countries, tribalism is not as strong, you know what I mean, as it is in other parts of Africa as well, you know what I mean? So here's my thing about tribalism and the bad effects that it has on the nation as a whole, right? So, for example, the the ANC, the ruling party, right? Its stronghold was predominantly, I think it was not, if I'm not mistaken, in the Eastern Cape, right? And then in the Eastern Cape, a lot of closer people, like the top tier members of the ANC were mainly closer people. And then Jacob Zuma came into power, and then he had like a quite strong Zulu following, in KwaZulu Natal. And it's basically between those two provinces, KwaZulu Natal and Eastern Cape. And it tribalism kind of like eats away from the very fabric that's meant to make a country great. Because now we don't vote for a certain person because he's a Tsonga or he's a vendor. I mean, people tend to want to judge people based on their tribal background when they should just be judging people based on their talent on merit, you know? So, how do we solve this tribal issue? My point is, how about South Africa? South Africa's got 9 provinces. How about we divide the provinces by tribes? We already have KwaZulu Natal, right? Give it to the Zulus. Why don't we have KwaXhosa or something? KwaTswana, KwaSuthu, KwaNdebele, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Let each tribe have its own province. Let each tribe rule itself. Let each tribe govern itself. Let each tribe. We can have intertrade. We can have inter-tourism. We can have inter-visitations and all that. But it sounds weird to say this, right? Because then it would be a form of separate development. But how do we get over this tribalism issue if we can't get along on tribal lines? You see, it's sad to say each each tribe must have its own province where it comes from, and they must stay in those provinces, right? But what if you get a job and you get hunted for a job? But then again, why would why would a why would a province not have a suitable person of a certain tribe? That would be impossible, right? Very impossible. I know there are people that are better than other people, but you know what I mean? I'm thinking we need to go down the rung of political down to social, you know? So let's start politically, or let's start socially, going into politically. You understand? So, for example, that's what the apartheid government tried to achieve with these homelands, you know? Zulu people one side, Xhosa people one side, Vinda people one side, and all that. And for a while, it kind of like worked, you know what I mean? Because they had separate developments and separate this and separate that, you know what I mean? I don't know if you could call them successes because some people were saying, like, for Puta Tswana under Mangope was kind of like thriving because they had a good economy. There was like a good radio station, for example, that was thriving, like Radio Bob TV. And they're saying in its heyday, those things were actually productive. Whereas you look at it now, today, it's a pale shadow of its former self. So, would it be possible to run each province like a state, right? Let's say Western Cape, we give that to the Calids. KwaZulu-Natal for the Zulus. We'll have to break up other provinces to give other smaller tribes, you know, their own province to run. Would that be such a bad thing? I don't think so. Because we're trying to eradicate this tribalism conflicts. You know what I mean? And I see that we can't get along. So separate development, would that be the solution? I would think so. Because there's this movement in the Western Cape where people are complaining that colored people are not being hired anymore. You go into these retail shops, you don't see colored people. Where you used to see coloreds before, now you don't. You just see closer people. And it's now becoming a big issue in the Western Cape now. They're saying coloreds can't get jobs now because jobs are being reserved for the closer people. So how do we solve that? Do we send the closer people back to the Eastern Cape because the Western Cape was predominantly colored? How do we solve this? You see, we don't encourage we don't encourage a state of hatred, of division, but how do we get over this issue of tribalism? without dividing the people. You know what I'm saying? Because what I don't like is whenever people get involved in an argument, the tribe issue comes up. Like, oh, why do I need to listen to that vendor? Oh, why do I need to listen to that colored? Oh, why do I need to listen to that Indian? Oh, why do I need to listen to that Zulu? Oh, why do I need to bow down to that Xhosa or to that Debele or that whatever? Why? So to avoid those small little nuances and small little skirmishes and snide comments, how about each tribe get its own province, rules itself, thrives on its own, intertrade, and go back to our provinces? Wouldn't that be the solution? I'm thinking most of South Africa's problems would be solved if each tribe thrived on its own. But obviously, trade together, do everything like that's needed for an economy to run. At the end of the day, we go back to our homelands or to our provinces. I'm thinking that is the only solution, you know. And each province must be run independently, as if it's being run like a country. Just like how the states have different states with different rules and different there, but then there's an overarching government that just oversees, that doesn't really interfere in these provinces. What do you think? Do you think I'm wrong on this? Do you think I'm right on this? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Next, we get into the pros. You know how we do. Holla. People, people. The pros of having different provinces or states for each tribe. One, it reduces conflicts among different tribes, elimination of tribalism. That's number one. Number two, it encourages the practices of tribes without being influenced by other tribes. So it encourages the practices and cultural norms and customs of each tribe without it being diluted by other tribes. I think that. Three, the language of that tribe gets to thrive, gets to survive, and gets to be preserved because of it just being spoken on a daily basis in that particular province. What else? Number four, if we could build universities in that particular tribe's language, that'll be a sure winner. That'll be a sure winner for me. That'll be the positives that will be coming out of this whole each tribe in the province story. That's what I think. Those are the positives. Next, we get into the negatives. Let me know what you think. Okay, the negatives of having each tribe living in its own province. Number one, it will bring back the idea of apartheid, right? It will look like it's an apartheid state. It will look like we are encouraging separate development. But what did PW, was it PW Botha or was it Forster? Who said it? Who said it? It was Forster. Yeah, Forster said it. Brotherly, brotherly or neighborly, something like that. Brother, neighborly brothers, something like that. Where there's just no mixing. You know what I mean? It will kind of bring back that, but it won't be like that. I'm trying to think separate development. It's almost like households. You know, we all live in we all live in each family lives in its own house, right? But we meet at the grocery store. We meet at work. We meet at that, and then we go back to our homes. So I think it would be something on those lines. It wouldn't be full on like apartheid kind of a setup, but it would give that negative vibe that, oh wow, it should be. I know I get it that it would give those kind of vibes, but we have to find a twist to try and eliminate the negative aspect of that. But the negative thing obviously is going to bring back that whole notion of apartheid again, because separate development. Another thing is that You don't get to mix and mingle. There won't be that element of unity of Ubuntu because you just separately um developing on our own. Thirdly, it takes away it would take away the essence of a nation. It's so it's having a tribe in a province will just take away that interaction of how to build, learn, interact with other tribes. You know what I mean? It will just that human touch, that human experience with other people, and that foreign exchange, and that exchange of cultural values and linguistics, and that will kind of like disappear. Like what I mean? For the most part. And I think that would be a negative thing, really. You know what I mean? But that's what I can think of. You know what I mean? So yeah, let me know in the comment section below if I was on the money or if I totally missed it with this one. You know what I mean? Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. You know, we family, right? Holla.